show on Kids Place Live, and we've got a What Were You Thinking? The Animal edition for you this morning, Tori. This is a story out of Colombia, Narino, Colombia, where a possum somehow got tangled in the cables on top of a utility pole. So think about like a telephone pole and the possum somehow managing to shimmy up the pole, and where all of the wires and the cords, all of those wires meet, the possum got tangled and then was dangling from the cables at the top of the pole.
Oh, no.
So somebody who noticed this called the police and said, there's a possum dangling from the wires on top of a utility pole. Someone might want to come and rescue him. So the police came over, they climbed to the roof of an adjacent building, and from there they were able to reach this little mischievous marsupial and disentangle it from the cables. And then once they got him out of danger, they were able to release him back into his natural habitat. The possum was totally fine. No injuries whatsoever. So here's what I want to know. I want to know what the possum was thinking when it shimmied up the pole and got himself tangled in these utility cables and the wires. And to really get into the possum's way of thinking, I want you, our listeners, and you too, Tori, to become the possum in this situation. We did a little of this yesterday. We're going to do it again today. I'm going to be a news reporter live on the scene, interviewing you, the possum, to try and understand what in the waffle you thought you were doing when you got tangled in these wires. It's very, very high. It's very dangerous. You're lucky you're safe. So Tori, are you ready to become the possum?
I was born to play this role.
I'm mostly doing this just because I love hearing you play animals. Okay. We are now live on the scene in Colombia, where a possum has climbed up a utility pole, getting himself tangled in a mess of telephone wires. I'm here with the possum. Can you tell us what you were thinking when you shimmied up this pole?
Look, I've got a long way to go to achieve my goal, but you gotta start somewhere. If you want to become an expert tightrope walking possum.
Oh, so you're telling me that this was all practice for a tightrope. Were you planning on joining the circus or what?
Well, yes, in my neighborhood, there is a family of rodents who have been putting on circus acts. And I've been trying to figure out what my auditioning skill might be, and I noticed that they didn't have a tightrope act, so I thought, hey, why not give that a shot? So I climbed to the tallest point I could find, stuck myself out on a limb, tried to walk across those wires, and, well, it didn't really go according to plan, but I will definitely be trying it again.
And Possum, did you have anything in your pouch while you did this?
Well, yes, my 6 babies who come everywhere with me.
You did this with 6 babies in your I'm sorry. You did this with 6 babies in your pouch.
Yes, it is the job of a possum to carry our babies with us so they go everywhere I go.
And there you have it, folks. Our possum practicing for a tightrope wire act with his rodent friends. Thank you so much. This is Mindy live on the scene in Colombia. Back to you in the studio. All right, so here's the Tori. First of all, nice job. You became the possum.
Oh, thank you.
You really became the possum. I feel like if this gig doesn't work out for you, you could always be a possum impersonator in your career if you're looking for just a next step or something. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. All right, if you are listening right now, I want you to become the possum. If you want to become the possum and you want me to interview you for our Invisible News program, give us a call now, 1-866-328-2345. Keep in mind, you are the possum who is just dangling from a mess of telephone wires after you shimmied up a utility pole. 1-866-328-2345.